Welcome to Faith Not Fear 16. This is a rally led by multiple religions for one purpose: to demand better of the presidential election by confronting and condemning the racism, sexism, xenophobia, and fear-mongering so central to this election cycle. We are here to make known our deep concern about dangerous rhetoric and policy proposals, share wisdom from our diverse faith traditions to light a way forward, and encourage the voters in tomorrow's New York primaries and Americans across the country to vote with civility, justice, and their core values in mind. Thank you all for your presence and your participation. In 2016, we find ourselves at a critical political crossroads. These faith leaders who are going to speak to you today are on the front line of communities standing against oppression and division every single day, acting for peace, mercy, and justice against the grain of the polarizing political climate. Today, may the generations who are to come, yet who we impact even today, find us faithful. I'm Reverend Jennifer Crumpton, the author of Femmevangelical, the Modern Girl's Guide to the Good News. Little girls in 2016 America should not have to watch presidential debates and election coverage and hear women called dogs, bimbos, disgusting animals. Witness the scarce number of female candidates taunted about how they look, or see a respected female journalist mocked and even threatened for asking tough, serious questions. Girls of all races, ethnicities, religions, and socioeconomics should be able to truly envision themselves as the President of the United States. Instead, they are exposed to political discourse that shames females. Passionate declarations to defund the most critical national source of women's health care, Planned Parenthood, teach them that women, especially poor women, are unworthy and unfit to make our own decisions about our bodies and our lives. Young women are learning that corporations are people, but women aren't, and that while the government should keep its hands out of the free market, it should be authorized to regulate and manhandle women's most intimate decisions and control our family planning, which therefore determines the course of our health, our education, our careers, our financial futures, our social impact, not to mention the well-being of ourselves and our families. Much like Mother Earth, these policy proposals strip us of our resources, and we are threatened by being legislated into submission by those who assume we've been entrusted to their power. Girls are hearing candidates say women aren't careful enough to somehow avoid the expectation of sexual assault on college campuses. Girls hear that a girl who is raped could be forced to carry the consequences, but they never hear those politicians say how they will address the backlogs of thousands of untested rape kits rotting in our broken justice system, or pledging to bring to zero the 1 in 5 Americans whose lives are destroyed by this crime. Add to this the suspicion of skin color, immigration status, religious clothing. This presidential election has limited the imaginations and the innocent courage of countless young girls, our nation's most precious resource. The mission of Jesus was to show us another realm, where those who had been blinded by bias and self-interest would have their sight restored so that they may behold the desperation of those rendered invisible, where the captives of a violent and patronizing system would be released to rise into their God-given equal power, and where the oppressed would be freed from devaluing, sexualization, and objectification to become everything that they were meant to be. America should be leading the way, but instead, this election is not suitable material for little girls. I urge voters tomorrow in New York and throughout the election in November to vote with your mothers, daughters, sisters in mind. And most of all, for the sake of the little girls whose future depends upon truly wise leadership.